We are here in Chizzuk from Chassidus. Thank you, Hashem. Weekly learning of Chizzuk from Chassidus is not a small thing. We don't take it for granted. We thank Hashem every time we get together to learn a little bit more of Likutei Moharan or Tanya, Chassidus in general, especially on a week like this where it's Shovavim, it's Parshas Vayera, and there's a lot of yotzites, a lot of tzaddikim, a lot of energy in the world, a lot of a need to push yourself a little bit more than usual. And we were discussing about the Shem Mem base. This is a holy name that we need to be mechazik in, especially during this time. We talk about it during Sfiras Omer, we mentioned already, and these 6 Shabbases have a shaykhis as well to the Shem Mem base of Shovavim. It says here, Yesh bo Shiva Shemus. So we talked about the idea that there's 3 hands that connected into the Shem Mem base, because 3 times 14 is 42. Yeah? What are the 3 hands? So we know in Hebrew, the Yada Gedola, Yada Chazaka, and Yada Ramah. Yada Ramah we see in Parshas B'Shalach coming up soon. Yada Gedola we also see with the Makkos, and Yada Chazaka even more so with the Makkos, because it's the Indian of Chesed and Gevurah, and then Tiferes. These 3 hands. There's 3 Yadayim. Yeah, and the middle hand is the Pnimius hand. And these 3 hands are very holy concepts that Hashem expresses Himself and His Hashgacha Elyon, Hashgacha Shlema, His divine flow towards Am Yisrael is through these 3 hands. You know, these are Ruchnius concepts that are brought down in Kabbalah. So the Shem Mem base is an expression of this. Shem Yesh Bo Shisha Osius. So each of the 7 names of the Shem Mem base is 6 Osius. The Chavin Hamish Alav Havavin, This brings down the Vavin, the Vavs. Because that 6 is Gematria Vav, yeah, Vav. Vav is a hook, is a connection. And the Vavin we see in the Mishkan. This concept of these 7 names with the 6 Osius, 6 connected Vavin, these hooks. Hainu Shiva Shemesh Yesh B'chol Echad Shisha Osius. Because he's saying here that the 7 names, each which has 6 letters, which is Vav letters, drawing them into what? It brings it down into the money. Nikra Amudim. And money, we said already, Netzach and Hod, this is money. So money is the Abudim, the Vavin, which is connected to these 6 letters that are in the 7 Shemus of Ana B'Koyach. If you go through Ana B'Koyach, Shem Mem base. As Nikra Vave Amudim. Then it's called Vave, the 6 hooks. So he talks about it, he brings he spells it out here. If you go through, like Aleph, Beis, Gimel is the first 3 letters, and then Yud and Tes and Sadik, Ana, Bakar, Gedula, Yemin, Chatate, Surah, Kaba, Vinos, Amchas, Chuvenu, Tveinu, Noyu, V'chulu, all the different Shemus are there in these 6 Osius of each line, and they come together, the 7th, with the 6 Roshi Tevis, and they come together to make a 7th, and then there's 7 of those, 7 lines, and then we end up with Baruch Shem Kavod V'Amved. So this is Ana B'Koach, and this is called the 6, is the Vave, the hooks of what? Nikra Amudim. These are the 6 hooks of the pillars. Now we see this concept of the Vavim. It's very important to realize these are not just Kabbalistic concepts, but they're also very deep in terms of Am Yisrael, because remember the Mishkan is a microcosm of the macrocosm, and eventually went into the base of Mikdash. That it's the microcosm of the whole Pnimius of the world. All the Shefa, all the Bracha, all the goodness, all the divinity, the Dira of Hashem, the dwelling of Hashem's Shechina, comes through the Mokum of the Mishkan and eventually the Mikdash. So it has within it the formula, if we understand it in a code form or science form, like the ultimate science form, it has within it the code to bring down all that energy into the Bria, into creation. It's uniting heaven and earth. And this is why it's so important to understand these Vavim aren't just whatever. They come across when we mention them in later on in Parshas V'Yakov Pekudei. There's an interesting trop, and we can talk about it when we get there, maybe if we remember. And apparently Rabbi Akiva's Neshama came to explain to Moshe Rabbeinu what the Vavim, what these extra pieces of silver were going to be used for. That's brought down. And we're going to see that silver is going to be relevant as well, because silver is the aspect of Chesed. And we're going to be talking about how these Vavim are connected into the Dinim, and there's a certain tikkun through the Chesed of the silver that gets rid of these judgments. We're going to see it also connects into dancing. We've already been talking about that already. and the pillars of money. We're going to see how it all connects up. Elu amudim, hainu raglin, hainu ekvayim, heim bechinas din. So these pillars, the feet, the hills, an aspect of judgment. Kishtei pamim elokim, the name of God, with in terms of how Hashem is functioning through Teva. It's more the side of din, Elokim, than Shem Havaya, the Shem Hashem. 2 times Elokim is Gematria Okev, which is the hills. Yesham Achiza Lechitzonim. And that, on those hills is where the external forces have a hold. They're hanging out there. These chitzonius forces, these superficial kochas and energies. Ein din nimtak ela b'shorosho. And the only way to sweeten these judgments is through going to its root. V'shorish adinim b'bina. And the root of dinim, of judgment, is in the aspect of bina. Now, if you understand the kav of Kabbalah, there's like these kavim, like the Eitz Chaim. There's these paths, these lines. It's also a vav on a certain level. But the idea that there's the sad yamin is chokhmah, chesed, netzach, and on the left side is bina, gevura, hod. I mean, trust me, it's not my job to start teaching Kabbalah, but this is what Rabbi Nachman is. We're going in the derech of the Tzaddik, so we're bringing down what the Tzaddik is talking about. And the idea that when you on the side of the left side, gevura is din, you're going back to its shorish, which is shorish then bina, because it comes out. The shefa comes through bina down on the left side. So the root of bina gevura of judgment is in bina. This realm of bina. Kamosha Kosov, and it's a pasuk. Bina dinim misarin mina. It says, I am bina, gevura in strength is mine. It's a pasuk in Mishlei, in Proverbs. So you see that obviously, everything that's in Kabbalah obviously has a makor in Torah. It's not just made up by Reb Shimon Bar Yochai, the Arizal, and all the way through to the Baal Shem, and that's Bereish Gilei. We know as Rosh Tevet, all those Tzaddikim. That's the Yad Ramah. We're going to talk about that in Parshat B'Shalach. But right now we're in Parshat V'era. That there's a lot of judgment in Mitzrayim, a lot of judgment in Golis, a lot of Chitzonius, and all this negativity that's surrounding. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. The Chizas, the Chitzonim, with these like klippers, like the Republic of Iran is holding on to these good people and trying to take out as much as they can from all these good people, so they can bring, God forbid, more judgment and anger into the world. So we have to break that. How do we break that hold of din? We sweeten it at its shorish through the aspect of bina, because bina comes. I am bina, gevura strength is mine, says the Mishlei. Ani bina li gevura, v'shem mem beis, b'bina. So the whole Indian of judgment is aroused, that's the Zohar, is aroused from Bina. I'm just fixing what I said before. Judgment is aroused from Bina. Bina dinin misarimina, that's the Zohar. Ani Bina li gevura, that's the pasuk in Mishlei. And I am Bina, and this is my strength. The Shem and Beis b'Bina. And Shem and Beis is in Bina. Okay, so we're going to see that the concept of Shem and Beis is in the aspect of Bina. So Shem gave us a Shem, a Kodesh, a holy name, that would give us ability to sweeten all the judgments at its root, taking us out from the money being surrounded by judgment and external forces, taking out the feet that would be surrounded by external forces, and bringing it back to Kedusha, bringing it back to goodness, to chesed, and bringing down the good energy to the world. Constantly, when one draws from the Shem and Beis, as I did in Namtin B'Shoroshim. So when you draw down the Shem and Beis from Bina, you're bringing it into the Gevura, into the Dinim, and you're sweetening them back up to the root. Zer Perish, and this is what it means when it says in later on in the Parsha, in the Parshas of the Mishkan, Vavei Amudim V'Chashkeim Kesef. The hooks of the pillar and their bands were silver. Perish Al Yidei Chashika Zchapras Vavei Heim Amudim Naisa Kesef. Chesed Namtikin Adim. So because they were silver and they were being part of the avodah of the Mishkan, which was all to do with Kedusha, by banding and bringing all these vavim, these dinim, money and feet, back into the avodah of the Mishkan, to connecting them to the aspect of silver, which is chesed, because it's called the supernal colors. This is taught in Eitz Chaim, Shah, Arik, Ampin. The Ari points out there's basically a lot of deep concepts, 370 lights. We're going to talk about that next. This concept of silver this banding and joining of the Vave Gavuris goes through the pillars, which is Netzach and Hod, and that produces silver, which is Chesed, and that's the quality of loving kindness. So that's where we want to always head towards. Like, I'll give you an example. Chag, known concept. Yeah, the idea of a Chag is to draw together the Gevuras and bring it into Chesed. Why? Because Chag is Rosh Tevet, Chesed Gevura. So every Chag, we get the opportunity, every Yom Tov, to bring a Chagiga, the Simcha, the dancing, the good energy that we're bringing into the world. It brings the Gevuras back into Chesed. That's the dancing, that's the Yeinei Shel Torah, the Penimis Shel Torah, that's the Simchas of Yom Tov. We drink wine, Dafka, because we're bringing again, remember we talked about wine is also connected to this, we're bringing again the Hod of wine through the Gevurah, all the way up to Bina again, through the Shem and base. We're bringing down this tikkun again and again and again. Every time we dance, every time we make alachaim, every time we use our money towards tzedakah, because chesed and gevurah is mamtik through the kindness we do with our money, obviously. And that we talked about with the pigeon nefesh last time, with giving to a tzaddik, connecting ourselves to the makor of kedusha. With tzaddikim are like a little mishkan, a little migdash ma'ah. So when you give them tzedakah, it's like you're giving trumot, like in the base of migdash. You're connecting yourself, your chesed, your energy, your avoda is now, all your chiyas that you put into your money, which is connected to the feet, is now going up to the level of yad. That was the 3 yadas we mentioned before. It gets lifted up to the level of these 3 yadayim, which is the idea of the mem shem mem base. And the tzaddikim have a connection to bina, so they're able to elevate where you're in gevurah, they're able to bring it back up to bina. So by them putting their hands on the money, it goes from the feet now to be elevated to its root, which is bina. And this is the Indian of tzaddikim, they're able to elevate things in this world. So my hope, when we learn these kind of deep Torahs, is that we understand the importance of dancing, we understand the things we do in Yiddishkeit, the Chag, the Simchas Yom Tov, the Trumot, the kindness we do. Even the fact of Vavim, which is a more external aspect of the Mishkan, because it's protruding from the pillars, is being brought in. These souls, Rabbi Akiva said, these are souls that are outside the Mishkan a little bit. They're being brought in and connected. Vav is the lotion of connection. And being connected in these places of judgment, this place of negativity, is being connected, of externalities. It's being connected into the Kedusha. And by connecting yourself into the Kedusha, you get an elevation. And you get drawn into the place of Bina, which brings down Chesed. And this is where we want to sweeten everything. We want to make everything Geshmak. As part of our avoda in this world, to take a more low-level experience that's going on every day and bring it up to Kedusha. So, for example, I'm doing this event, with Gedalia Fenster, just an example. Or we have the House of Lev coming. So all these things need Chesed. Why? Because without the Chesed, no one's going to know about it. If people aren't going to share it, if people aren't going to sponsor these kind of events, nothing, or pay for it, people don't do Chesed towards it, it's not going to happen. So, example, what I did, I decided, this is what I did when I was young, when I used to do events all the way through, is collaborate, bring other people in. So I'm helping this organization, Penima, this new shul in Yerushalayim. They're getting more exposure through this event, and they're helping our event by helping promote it also. So it's mutual. Or you have an example of, the idea of a Kavana app. So we're bringing them in. There's no money going between us and the Kavana app, but they're going to promote it, and they're getting way more exposure than they used to about their app. And we're there creating promo videos for us, which one of them you just mentioned before was very positive, and they liked it. And that was like bringing this place of judgment where everyone's in their own little organization and no one wants to help each other. I'm in the Shtibel, I'm in Shir Tevet, no, my money, your money. Everyone's very boxed off. Instead, we're all actually Am Yisrael, and we all need to help each other in some way or another. Shir Tevet needs Shtibel needs Shir Tevet. People generally need each other. We're a community. We're meant to come together, collaborate, help each other's organization. And suddenly you get hundreds of people start buying tickets. People come and they get elevated by the experience because we're coming together to sing to Hashem and to learn and to experience some light in Yerushalayim. That's my goal, like with these things. Like the House of Lev, they come, they convert to Yiddishkeit, they come all the way to Eretz Yisrael, Moshe Nefesh, and they come here in Israel, bureaucracy, they don't look the same as us or whatever, like all the negative stuff that goes on, and they feel outside the Machane, they feel like they're outside the Mishkan. Where we take the Vavim, we take the kindness as silver, and we bring them in and we say, you know what, I'll sponsor this Shabbos, I'll help them come here, make them feel welcome, so they have a bit of a panasa, and then they share their beautiful experiences, because I didn't grow up like them. I don't know what it's like to have their background. They can give me insight to the world of Gerim that I don't know. Yeah, I'm about Tshuva, I have a different story. And I from birth also. Everyone has different stories, and people can learn from each other. But the way it happens, we have to collaborate, we have to join together. We have to bring the ones who seem more outside, we have to bring them in and connect them in, the Vavim, and it's often going to be in a place of judgment initially, and we have to bring it, sweeten it to its root through kindness, through collaboration, through joining together. This is what the Tzaddikim do. They lift things up and bring things together, make unity. The whole derech of the Baal Shem Tov, just to end off, and really what the Shtibul should all be about, as a family minyan, bringing his chabras, connection to people that otherwise wouldn't have connection. The kids, the wives, the men who don't feel so connected to other communities, they get a place where they can join together. And this I felt that when I came to speak his Shabbos and Parsha Shmos, you felt that his chabros of everyone here. Everyone was together, there was a good energy, and the Kiddush was fun, and you feel like we're a community, we're a nation. And this is our koyach. This unity brings us a lot of sweetening of judgments. And the only way we get a Mishkan is when and a base of Migdash is when we're ba'achtas and coming together, because that's the only way it's going to come down. Is Yerushalayim habinu akisha chubala yachtav. When everyone would bring down the two levels of Yerushalayim, the Yerushalayim Shamala, Yerushalayim Shamata, to make that achdus, that unity, and bring Hashem Shekhinah into the world, there has to be achdus. And it's only going to come from these kind of deep concepts of chesed and kindness and joining people together and sweetening the judgments and not being pushed separate and disjointed from each other. We have to align and come together. And these deep tzaddikim give us the penimis understanding of what joins us together on a penimis level, and obviously now we have to apply it through actions of kindness, and that's the real key to the game. That they want us to do the pijonas, they want us to do the kindness, to give the tzedakah, to be giving and caring and joining together as a minyan, and all the different things we do together. And with that, Be'ez Hashem, by us working hard on this and learning the deeper inyanim, coming together, then all the gilui that we're looking for, like Pashas V'yera, and all the makkahs that are coming down on our enemies. There's literal enemies that right now, if these 7 makkahs come down, like say Barad comes down, that's like ice and fire joining together, and it comes down and blows up some of those Iranian Rishoyim, not the good people who are protesting, the Rishoyim, and it blows them up so they no longer have any power anymore, then the head of the snake is gone. It's a different world. Yeah, by us removing evil from the world, it's a different world in the Middle East, in the whole world. All these terror organizations suddenly lose a lot of momentum and energy because the head's gone. That's what we have to daven for and push for, and by us drawing down kindness and connecting to these penimis, the yad chazaka, the yad chazaka, this strong hand will come on our enemies, and it will be connected to these 3 yadayim of positivity and kindness and truth, and we'll have the ability to bring the Gula Shlema and Meir V'Yemeinu Pomein.